That's right, Li Ming will be highly picked here, as well as Genji. We saw some crazy Genji action. Maybe they'll just span it out and force GG to play it, or question them if they can actually play it or not.
So this will be BDG's first pick. They got a little bit hurt in that last draft. I feel with the first pick against them. This time they'll have the opportunity to control the way that this draft is going to go. Miracle took the safe route with the Malfurion, but it was the Genji denied immediately. We'll see if that happens again, because GG will very likely draw that Miracle Zeratul ban if they ban the Genji here.
I'm pretty sure Miracle was not thinking about Stitch's pick from the beginning of the draft. I feel like that was one of their hidden cards that behind their back, because they lost that Greymane and ETC from GG last game. That improv within the drafting, I think they learned a lot from practicing against Black. I think it's really going to show during this playoff. So
this is exactly what I wanted to see, is a throwaway ban. I thought it was going to be the Li Ming, but it's Falstad instead. So now they get either Genji or the Zeratul. So it's going to be the Zeratul here, almost 100%. Even on this map, he's just so good for harassing the backline. So there's the Zeratul lock-in. I like this strategy from GG a lot. Like, this is what you do. Now you've removed Miracle from using that split pushing they showed us already in game number 1. These are the 2 weakest maps for Falstad, but the MVP teams specifically really highly prioritize them. So you take that away from them, and you get a strong backliner harasser. But you do give the Li Ming. So that was, I was expecting it to be Li Ming instead of the Falstad, but I understand why they take the Falstad given the history of the MVP teams on this battleground.
That's right. You don't want to give too many options to Miracle, as they already have a lot of strategies prepared, as we saw from game number 1. And you can see the win rate of Zeratul is pretty high compared to all other heroes in Korea.
Pretty high pick rate too. If there was another thing that said ban, it would be like 80, but
more than 80 actually.
Yeah.
Also MVP Black. Especially the higher up teams in HGC Korea has been putting Zeratul on top, even higher than Falstad sometimes, because Zeratul can soft counter Falstad, just roam around, soak the EXP, and also harass Falstad.
I think Zeratul has been picked, or sorry, banned 94 times.
So, banned 94 times?
If I read that correctly. So I may have misread it, but anyway, I moved the paper away already. So moving on with our lives, but maybe that's his total involvement rate, total. But the sheet could be wrong too. But anyway, Hammer coming out with Muradin, and the Nazeebo ban hovering here for the burn damage. They remove Hammer from Miracle. They want to take her themselves. There's nothing to harass on the side of Miracle yet because Zeratul was taken. You know, I'm not so sure about this.
Yes, Nazeebo ban. I don't really follow 100%. I think it's just hovering. They're considering about it, not 100% yet. Because they already, you see the Harjan Hammer is already there. They have the constant damage, the pokes.
They're going to lock it in. I wonder if this will be a moment for GG to ban the Tyrael. They just target ban the Stitches. We already talked about how this was a solid possibility with Malfurion already on the board, but Miracle may now go Greymane Tyrael too. That's a really strong possibility.
There's Uncono laughing after seeing that Stitches ban.
You know, when you have a non-meta hero like this, I mean, it has risen in popularity in Korea quite a bit, but it's still like really rare compared to other main tanks. When you see a hero like that that's so very rarely banned against you, you have to feel good. You have to feel like, you know, they're just showing respect with that ban.
I think that's what he was looking for exactly.
So will it be the Greymane Tyrael? Will it be the old Dami Honkono special from the summer season 2016? They won the championship. They want to go there again. 10 seconds to decide.
I think it's either that or a DPS. Vala is still open with Arthas for the root coming in.
Tyrael Tychus, actually. My favorite Tychus skin, too. And this means that they're going to have a lot of consistent damage. And this is the pairing that, in the beginning of the season, was most common, Li Ming Tychus, in terms of having AD damage and AP damage with all the new counter types of armor coming in. This is one thing that's just all around good against almost anything.
They do have damage. They're able to harass from the back line and poking with the Sergeant Hammer. If they want to bring a bruiser like a Sonya in the front line, they can fill that up and finish with a support. But the question will be, Miracle will be considering ETC a little bit because they have that Tyrael that can connect with the big Mosh.
Lunara Karzim. So they wanted that burn damage one way or another. This is going to be the way. Now, there's a lot of different things Miracle can do here. They can play Sonya. Like, that's absolutely not unrealistic, given the slow tick damage coming in from Lunara, the slow damage coming out from Hammer. They could also play the Artanis here for maximum damage for the Immortals. But ETC is also not out of the question in terms of grabbing on to the Sergeant Hammer, going in there, diving in head first, using the Mosh Pit for the engages. Those are the three heroes we're really trying to select from here, I think, if you're looking at MVP Miracle. Another possibility is that Arthas that you talked about, but I think he's less likely than the others.
I think Artanis is a perfect fit. Also, try to get the swap onto that siege mode down on the ground for the pokes onto the Immortal will be perfect when you are looking for the kill.
Yeah, Artanis is the one that I'm really thinking about here as the best choice. The other ones feel a little bit less solid, and there he is. As we called it. Now, drafts are set. For GG, they have a lot of dive into the backline, but there's so much protection with Tyrael, and Artanis is going to be tough to kill for Zeratul. I worry for GG, I worry for Good. Can he get in there and find the damage, or is he going to jump in, find himself revealed or rooted, and then blown up by the Calamity damage and everything else? That's my biggest concern. The Zeratul pick was kind of countered here in the draft by Miracle, a draft that also allows them to have the quicker race on the Immortals, on the objective. We shall see if this works out for them. They have so much poke with the Li Ming as well as we move into game number 2 on Battlefield of Eternity. In blue, Honkono on Tyrael, Artanis on, Dami on Artanis, Sniper on Tychus, Crazy Moving on Li Ming, and Darvish on Malfurion.
In red, GG, BDG on Lunara, Jaehyun on Karazim, Good on Zeratul, Hooligan on Muradin, and Uj on Sergeant Hammer.
So, just to correct myself on the ban earlier, out of 105 games played of HGC, Zeratul has been banned of 56. So,
wow.
Not quite in the 90s, but we're up there.
That's a lot of ban draws, actually. As much as Falstead, I think. The top 2 most banned, I believe. They already got a tower from the beginning from those big rotations. In the top, GG had to come down a little bit late.
Remember when Li Ming's magic missiles and orbs did the same damage to minions as they do to structures? And how terrifying that was at level 1?
Remember when Calamity did damage to the minions for the wave clear?
I remember. And people were like, nah, she's still real high skill cap. You can't use her unless you're real good. I remember those times.
Li Ming's still one of the best mage heroes in the game. Honkono getting chunks of damage, but not even going to Aldrin away as his teammate will come and save him. Sniper is getting some damage from Lunara. There's Darvish.
Oh, the swap is real. Hooligan doesn't even need to use the grenade to finish him off here. I think Good is playing with fire. He should not be standing there. Okay, I'm glad he realized real quick. That was a close call.
I believe he got hit by the orb only. If he got hit by all the missiles, maybe he could have died there.
It would have been very close for sure. Too close for comfort.
Of course, amateur opponent for the race, Artanis. We were talking about Artanis because Artanis had 2 jobs. Number 1, the swaps, as we just saw, and especially onto Sergeant Hammer will be the best. Just letting him use the thruster so he cannot use it after. And also, number 2, racing for the Immortal. They have the pokes, they have Li Ming and Tychus on that range. They need a melee in the front line, some shielding on himself, and also he can go race for the Immortal. Perfect place for himself.
Another catch here on the Honkono, but just not worried. So much protection. Notice he makes sure when he uses his shield, all his teammates are shielded in case things get dove on there. He didn't actually panic shield himself. He waited to make sure he got the maximum value of shields. So always how you want to play Tyrael. So this is actually won just by Artanis' amateur opponent alone. Like, I don't even want to call him Artanis in this game. I just want to call him amateur opponent. All right, look, Sniper is getting very low, but he's able to do a ton of damage throughout all of this, and he's not even going to go down. They target down good. Dami's the only one to die. It's a 2-for-1. Onkono looks to make it a triple, but even his teammates are telling him that's a bad idea, pinging him away.
Darvish had to heal Tychus at the end, so Artanis had to blow up in the front line.
That's actually the most important pick they could have gotten, though, because that removes so much of the damage. Still looks like it's going to be a win here in terms of numbers for Miracle. And win this 2067. Lunara's poison damage messing with us a little bit there, but it's going to be 2067 in the end.
Yeah, that 7 looked like some number behind it, too. But it's Immortal. First Immortal, of course. GG has Sergeant Hammer, so Sergeant Hammer can poke down the Immortal pretty quickly with Lunara also.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe sieging comp.
They don't have the best wave clear, as this map you don't really, the wave clear does not matter as much, but you have a very good constant damage coming out.
All right, so we'll see this AoE swing actually catches Hooligan. It's just going to be the keep wall, or rather the fort wall that goes down here. Uche has to avoid the root, and yeah, gets what, 2 swipes? Will he get the 3rd? No, not even a 3rd swipe. Soul lane down here. It's also been pushed in favor of Miracle. So they take a pretty significant lead in terms of EXP. And, you know, in this game, there's not a big power spike in any way for GG. Like, there's no crazy late game scaling. You know, I assume this is just going to be the leap coming out from Lunara as well, but even that is not a ton of damage. It's just mobility. If they go for the Thornwood Vine, that could be quite strong too in terms of damage. That would be a spike for damage. I just feel like the issue is that Zeratul can't accomplish much against what Miracle is running right now, which means even though he's a terrifying hero to deal with in most compositions, in this one, the early pick, the early commitment just doesn't gain value for good here. And it's kind of map specific too, because you wouldn't really care about this comp as a Zeratul on any other battleground, but on this map, you really have to respect, you have to harass, you're forced into it because of the racing potential, the poking potential for Li Ming. Tychus could do that consistent damage, and you have the amateur opponent to deal with on top of it all in the race. So I think that's part of why they're having so much trouble here.
Yeah,
oh, look at that root.
Oh my goodness. Cost him his life for that one dash. It's a lot of commitment.
Oh, the swaps are so good.
Hammer, that's going to be killed for sure. Dami just saving that swap until he sees that Sergeant Hammer coming in. Perfect swap there.
He's got the slow at level 7 anyways too, because they have that talent tier advantage. Calamity damage as well for Li Ming. That's a huge power spike. That's going to be something that really scales well in this early game. Lugan, close call there, does get out. If the root had been placed a little bit different, he would not have been able to say the same. And already, Miracle is going to get on this Immortal first. Look at how quickly it burns down. They are almost at halftime right now.
So BDG comes in for the defense just for the moment, but they lost Sergeant Hammer before this phase, so they have to lose it. 50 to 100 right now.
All right, Hooligan is playing with fire, wants to get in the backline and harass to give good an opportunity. But he's hitting only tanks right now. Darvish is untouched. Good just can't find a target here. Raise Moving has force armor, so that's going to give him an issue. They do eventually burn down Sniper, force him to go back and tap because he's been so safe most of the game. He has a tap, even Crazy Moving just to be safe. Taps up, and they're going to commit to finish stakes. They want basically a 20k Immortal, and they may get it. This is the problem with Li Ming when you're behind like this. Uche just can't accomplish as much as Li Ming can with the support of the teammates here. Even the Moonfire damage is starting to add up. And even though this is nice for GG, they're eliminating a lot of the shields. Oh, Hooligan. That was way too aggressive. Good as well. Eats that Calamity damage. Nearly goes down. And this is going to be a crushing victory for MVP Miracle on the second Immortal. This MVP team is showing up on fire this evening.
Dami is crazy good. As you, from the intro, you said Artanis on Dami. It feels like it, man. He's just on fire with those swaps and the teamwork, the trust of Darvish's root following right after. Picking on Hooligan, even though he's a Mordant, he saw he's low. He know that Darvish is going to have that root to trust, and he just swapped right onto Mordant there and got the kill.
Well, this is so heavily shielded that even though there's the siege tank, there's the Lunara for kind of siege defense, with this Immortal basic constantly having ranged attacks, they can actually siege us up for so much longer. They have the Odin, they have Li Ming. This is going to be potentially just a dead keep with no heroics for GG. What can they possibly hope to do in terms of defending this?
They want to go all in. They want to take down this keep from beginning of the game. They also have the pulse. There's a swap again onto BDG. Perfect Twilight Dream to connect. Silence, and there's no way. 1 kill over. That's a lot of damage removed. Just Nara down. They're 3 levels behind. Can they come back here?
If they get more picks, Miracle can actually core here.
O'Connor is also saving his sanctification for the core. I think they want to go all the way in.
Look at the body block on Uj. Oh my god, they nearly kill him. That was insane what we just saw, and they are going to try to go core.
Here's sanctification. 70% already going down so quickly there.
Oh, this is going to be game over. It looks like Sniper's very low, but the Immortal's going to finish it off. And MVP Miracle with another dominant game, too, winning it in 8 minutes and 23 seconds. They're trying to speedrun this first best of 5. They want to face off against their rivals, Tempest. There's so much to talk about what that could potentially happen after this, as GG.